Hey, Pretty Girl Club. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how you're not ugly, you just hate your ethnicity. So, I've noticed a lot of the colorism or black women empowerment channels who like to talk crap about spaces like mine. Those women are often from other countries besides the United States. And by the way, no shade if you're from another country besides the United States, because obviously, I have African American ancestry, which is rooted in slavery. I also have immigrant ancestry. If you go back far enough in my own family lineage, that's on all sides. Okay, so I'm not a Native American person. However, I have noticed that a lot of people who have roots in whether it's in Africa or the Caribbean or whatever, sometimes they will say things like, oh, when I come to America, or like in America, everybody's obsessed with race and everybody is super racist against dark-skinned black women. And they'll talk all this shit about how the United States is like super racist against dark-skinned black women. But I don't see those same women going to Africa to make a life for themselves, or, going to the Caribbean or whatever countries that they espouse to pedestalize their phenotype more. And I've noticed that the reason that a lot of people won't do that is because deep down inside, they pedestalize being an American. So instead of actually going back home or whatever, or going to where you're celebrated, because a lot of women, they like to give this hypocritical talking point of go where you're celebrated. And instead of going to Africa or going to a place where unambiguous black women are literally celebrated and literally worshipped, instead of actually going to places like that, they want to go to a white American male. Well, why is that? You think that a white American male is going to worship the ground that you walk on more than somebody from Africa or somebody from, a place where they literally have a reverence for unambiguous women? That doesn't make logical sense to me, but I've noticed that it's because a lot of people, they pedestalize the United States so much to the point where, no, they'd rather stay here and try to force people in America to change their standard of beauty or to change their standard of who they consider to be the most attractive or whatever. And, then they get mad when they feel like, oh, I'm not at the top of the American beauty standard. So this is what I'm talking about. This is not about ending colorism, racism, texturism, or featureism. It's about reversing it. It's about trying to make yourself a more high status woman in America, or according to the American standard of beauty, or you're trying to make yourself higher status than like a Beyonce type or whatever. So it's not that you want Beyonce and yourself to have equal pretty privilege. No. This is not about equality. This is about trying to reverse it so that the women who look like Beyonce are the new ugly, mediocre women, and you are the new prize. So that's why I feel like a lot of the colorism, texturism, featureism channels are kind of like filled with BS, because it's like, okay, no, if you truly cared about unambiguous women being worshipped and revered, then you would be extremely pro-African. You wouldn't be talking shit about Africans. You wouldn't be talking shit about the continent of Africa in general. You would actually be so pro-African to where you would want to live there, to where you would want to actually be a part of, one of those countries and the culture where they celebrate unambiguous women and 4C hair and all of that. You would actually want to go and, embrace your roots even more. But I don't see women embracing their roots. I see women hiding their hair roots, first of all. So a lot of women, they will talk about texturism, but then anytime they have a special event, anytime they have a wedding, anytime they have a birthday party, the first thing they do is they loosen their hair texture as much as they possibly can via wigs and weaves. And so then when all of these wig and weave companies see that, oh, hey, we are really selling out on the type 2 and type 3 hair textures, okay, let's make more of these. And then it drives the prices of the type 3 extensions, it drives those prices up, and then it drives the prices of the type 4 extensions down because the demand is lower. And then women want to complain and say, oh, well, you guys are all texturists. No. We are not all the texturists. It's the people who are supporting those hair textures and actually putting their money where their mouth is, investing hundreds of dollars in these, lace wigs and stuff that have type 3 hair textures. Those are the women who are supporting those hair textures the most, actually. It's not even the women who are just wearing their natural type 3 hair textures. It's the women who are spending the most on purchasing the type 3 hair textures. So if you've got mixed women supporting mixed women, then you've got black women supporting mixed women, and you've got unambiguous black men supporting mixed women, then yes, mixed women are going to be the prize. MLS women are going to be the prize. And I'm trying to talk about this from a sociology perspective, because a lot of the people who are complaining about American standards are simultaneously participating in American culture. You're participating in American beauty standards, yet you have so much trash to talk about African Americans in particular. So I'm not trying to be like some sort of xenophobic person here, but at the same time, I have to call out all of the hypocrisy that I see. So I know I'm going to probably offend people who are not from America, but it's like at the end of the day, I still do personally have African American roots as well. So I don't have the experience of, I was born and raised in some other country or whatever. Then I came to the United States and everybody's so racist and they're so, texturist, featurist, colorist or whatever. And it's like, okay, if America is really that bad, then why are you still, wanting to be with an American man, wanting to participate in American culture, getting mad that women who look like you are not being promoted in American Hollywood? Where is all the discussion about Nollywood? Where's all the discussion about like the African artists or whatever? Or like I said, why are people not talking about Area Star more often? Why are people calling Tyla an international pop star once she comes to the United States and is celebrated here in the United States? And then people want to blame it all on her phenotype. But then people, they don't want to promote their own like countries that they came from or whatever, or they don't want to try to bring their country's beauty standards to America. They don't want to say, oh, hey, well, in Nigeria or wherever I'm from, the beauty standard is XYZ, and so that's my beauty standard. No, they want to internalize the beauty standard of whatever they think the American beauty standard is, and then they want to get mad that they themselves do not meet that standard. Or they want to get mad at mixed race women who do meet the standard or who, are closer to the standard, whatever that means to them. I've said it on this channel multiple times. I personally believe that beauty is subjective. I think that your personal standards of beauty are going to depend on who you pedestalize the most. Like, whose opinion on beauty do you pedestalize the most? Do you care the most about what white Hollywood thinks of beauty? Do you care the most about what black men think is beautiful? Do you care most about what social media and Instagram thinks is beautiful? There is no wrong answer, but I think that people should begin to look inside of themselves and first ask yourself, wait a minute, what is my internalized beauty standard and where did it come from? And why do I not meet my own personal internal beauty standard? Who told me I was ugly and why did I believe them? That's one question I'd be asking myself. Like, who told me I was ugly? What makes me think that those qualities are ugly? And I'm not even excluding myself from this. Like, I'm talking to myself as well. So for example, I personally believe that if I have pimples and acne, I believe that I look ugly when I have pimples and acne. Why is that? Well, it's because no matter who I see that is called pretty, regardless of their race or skin tone, they are usually a person that does not have acne. And so I am basing my internalized beauty standard on the opinions of the most people that I am around. So if the majority of men that I'm around, or the male gaze, if the majority of men have said that they like a woman with smooth skin or that they don't like acne, or if I've never heard a man specifically say, I want a girl with as much acne as possible, well, then that's going to cause me to have an internalized bias against acne. And so in that scenario, when it comes to acne, the reason that I personally think that acne looks ugly on me is because in the eyes of the male gaze, acne is not preferred. So that's me admitting my own internalized bias and my own internalized beauty standard when it comes to skin. So I can admit my shit. The question is, can you admit yours? Where did your beauty standards come from and who decided what your beauty standards are? And why are you following those beauty standards? Is it because you want the male gaze? Is it because you want to be in Hollywood? Is it because you want to, look mixed? Is it because you think mixed women are prettier than unambiguous women? And so that's why you want to have a dark-skinned exotical look rather than a dark-skinned unambiguous look? Which one is it? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.